routers normally, but selecting the right appropriate router is very important. So if you're applying on a wrong router, then that will be a problem. So how we need to figure out, again, on whichever the router you are going to apply the ACL, that must be the transit router. So which means the traffic must be passing through that router, compulsory. So according to these rules, if you just figure out these two rules, you can see these two rules. These are going from 2 to 1, 2 dot network to 1 dot network, which means whatever the direction you take. So basically the flow will be this. So which means the common part is router 1 and router 2 for this traffic. So these packets will be moving between these two routers. And likewise, if you check the other packets here, these parts, so this is going between 3 and 2, 3 and 1, which means from 3 to 1. So 3 to 1 means, as per my topology, the connectivity 3 to 1 will be 3, so it goes to 2 and it goes to 1. So basically these packets will transit via 1, 2, 3, of course. Maybe if you have another connection from this side, that is another case. Again, you need to see how the routing table, or according to routing table, how it is forwarding. So in my case, I'm assuming this. So this packets goes with a transit router of R1, R2, R3. Of course, on the router 2, it is going over the WAN interfaces. And these two going between R1 and R2, right? R1 and R2. So mostly I recommend you to take the common part. So in this case, the common part is router 1, because if you try to see all these services, generally in the production network also, you will have all the servers. Like let's say we use some VLANs. So we'll be using a separate VLAN only for servers. So we'll just place some servers in a separate VLAN or a separate LAN. And we'll ensure that, generally we call it as DMZ, demilitarized zone. That's what technically we call it as. And everyone will be accessing this. So basically near to this router interface is more recommended. So in my case also, I can go ahead and apply this on the router 1, because at the end, in order to see the common part, all the deny statements, all the traffic I want to permit or deny basically here is going to hit the router 1. So the router 1 is a common part I can use. Or you can also split these things. You can also split these rules. I can simply go and configure on router 2 and router 3. Like I can say that, okay, these two rules I'm going to configure them on the router 2, because at the end the communication between 1 and 2 will go like this. So I'm going to apply this ACL on the router 2, and I'm going to split these rules. These rules I'm going to apply it on the router 3. So this will be on the router 3, because at the end the traffic is coming from 3 to 1, right? So when this user tries to go here, I'll stop here itself, and any traffic coming from 2, I'll stop here itself. So we can split the ACL into two parts, and I can configure them on the router 2 and router 3 also, which I'll be showing you later on. Example. So I'll be showing you two examples here. In one example, I'll be using only the router 1. In the second example, I'll be splitting this same statements into 2, and will be configuring on router 2 and router 3 also. But the first thing in my case, first example, I'll be using a router 1. So this is the most preferable and the best option I can say. But let's say if you have this kind of rules where you don't have a combinations or the common place, then basically you can also split. Okay, so in my case, I decided to go with router 1 initially. Now, once we decide the router, the next step is we need to identify the source and destinations. Now, basically, the good thing about the extend ACL is we will be specifying the source as well as destination, as well as the service, protocol and the service, which means we can consider anything as a source. We can write the statement by taking this as a source, this as a destination, or opposite. Or I can just take this as a source and this as a destination. So it's all about how you see that and how you tell to the router, because the way you write the statements inside the ACL statement. So basically this is not going to create any problem. So in my case, as I'm just assuming that this is my source and this is my destination, so I'm going to follow the same concept as I use for the standard ACL. So I'm just thinking that these are the servers which are my destinations, and the users are sitting here and they will be trying to access this specific server. So this is how I'm going to see. Or in other words, you can also see this way, like you can say, okay, if the traffic is going from the servers and if it is trying to go to any specific destination, whatever I mentioned, that should be denied or permitted depending upon the rules. So which means I can write this as a source and this as a destination also. So it's up to you again. So both will work, both will normally work in this case. But I'm just going with the same concept of assuming, this as my destination and the users as my source, and I'm going to filter them. But as we are defining both, so there won't be any problem whether you reverse the source and destination also. And again, as per the recommendation, the extended ACLs are recommended to implement nearest to the source. So in my case, nearest to the source means if I'm taking this as a source, so recommended to implement the ACL here, so that when this user 2.1 tries to send a request to 1.3 HTTP server, it will be blocked here itself, so that unnecessary bandwidth consumption. Because if I apply ACL near to the source, then what happens is the packet will be stopped here only. So there won't be any unnecessary, the packet flows on the WAN link, which will take up the bandwidth and then reaches here, and then the ACL says stop, you cannot go. So that will consume unnecessary bandwidth. So that is kind of recommended practice, even though that is not compulsory. Okay, so because sometimes if you go with this rule, sometimes it's very difficult to write the rules. Like in my case, if I'm going with this rule, then I need to apply the ACL here. I need to apply the ACL here on these interfaces, and I have to split these rules into two parts and then write down. So basically that is something I'll be doing in the second example, as I said. But in this example, I follow this methodology of just assuming this as my destination and I apply here. Okay. But again, filtering closest to the source will save your bandwidth. That is a recommended practice, even though it is not a compulsory. So we can take this one. As I said, you can take this as a source or reverse the source and destination. Both will work. Basically, you can go with any of the options. It depends. So I'll be using this one. Okay, in my examples, I'll be following this methodology. I'm assuming the servers as my destination and the users who are trying to access, those are my sources. And then finally, filtering, applying the ACL. Again, we need to decide which interface. Again, that interface must be receiving the traffic, and of course the right direction you need to apply. So this concept remains the same as what we have discussed in the standard ACLs.